Hold on right quick. I gotta go this one. What's up, y'all? I just want to make a quick message right quick. Right now, there's a whole spiritual movement going on. We know this as, well, the people who know what the spiritual movement actually is, we've been informed that this shit is called the New Age movement. This has started since the 1960s. But the key thing about this is this, that nobody's been telling anybody. It's really like groundbreaking news, honestly, but it's not really news, it's just the truth. And the fact of the situation is this: the main three tools that they've given us as spiritual pursuits are 100% not spiritual. It's more like science and math. It has nothing to do with the spirit. And these three things can be relatively seen as the spirit, but in truth and honesty, the places where they got these technologies and information from, they never intended it to be seen as a spirituality. They never intended for it to be seen as spirituality. They only intended for it to be used in order for generations and generations to not be fooled like we have today, and to believing in something we cannot see or prove to be real. Now, these three main technologies of science, which is just an observation of how things go over time, after you experiment with them, after you have a objective thought about it. These technologies are numerology, astrology, and pretty much magic overall. In order for you to see that, right now, these three technologies are the New Age movement's main ways of keeping people ignorant of the truth about the non-duality and the wholeness of the universe and what they call the universe. They give you these things in which they split the sky up into 12 different sectors. And then they give you numerology, which, who made these numbers up, these symbols, in which we claim to have so much power. All these things that we see as spirituality now, that New Age movement have gave us, is nothing more than a Bible. It's a New World Bible, where they collected from many cultures, different aspects of many cultures. You see, just like the Bible, it's just 12, it's different books inside of one book. You feel me? Now this is what they're doing to you now. They gave you astrology, they gave you numerology, they gave you magic, they gave you spirituality, they gave you technology, and they give you health, quote unquote health, holistic health. These are the ways that they're trying to bring themselves into this new world, into this new age. They have taken everything from the old world, not the old world we're leaving, the old world. They've used it for the last 5,000 years. And now that we're changing and on the cusp of a new age, what they're doing, same way they did with the Bible and Jesus Christ and all that crazy shit, was they collected these books from the old world and used it for the last 2,100 years in order to keep you completely blind and veiled to the revelations of these sciences that they're actually giving you. They want you to see the truth, but not know of it. You feel me? And this is the secret right here to actually magic right there. You see, magic is something that you're not used to seeing in your everyday life. But somebody comes to you and prove that what you're not used to seeing in your everyday life is 100% true. And it's possible. And they do it in a nonchalant way as if everybody's supposed to be doing this. You feel me? This is what magic is. It's breaking down your paradigm, your thought paradigm. Breaking down your reality to show you that the paradigm you're living in is actually only one of infinite possibilities. Now, this is a key point because astrology, numerology, and different sciences like that the New Age movement are giving us, they're giving us this stuff and saying, here, this is you. This is what you do. You feel me? They don't give you the full definition and knowledge of these technologies. Where they came from, how they've been used over the years. And in reality, that's all astrology is. It's nothing but a cycle. It's nothing but a history book in a way. And all numerology is them taking a collective, relative knowledge from every culture. Like, for example, 5 fingers. You go anywhere in the world, people gonna have 5 fingers almost, right? So since everybody has 5 fingers, then you can automatically say that if 5 here in America, where I'm at right now, sadly, if you go around the world, it's still gonna be 5. That's what they call universal truth. But really, it's not a universal truth. It's only a relative knowledge system. What is a relative knowledge system? A relative knowledge system is just like saying, it's just like the theory of relativity. All these things are truly based off of us being, in order to go to the Aquarian age, in order for many cultures and many societies that knew of these technologies over time to make it into the new age unnaturally, they needed to transform their previous way of thinking, which was very mechanical. It was very mechanical, like winding up a wheel. You feel me? It was very like mechanical. Basically means man controlled. They had to go from that to something that completely is man controlled, but you don't see the man controlling it at all. And that's when you went from a mechanic world, a mechanic universe that Isaac Newton teaches about, into a quantum one that more recent scientists like Albert Einstein, more recent scientists that we know about. For example, like Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, I don't know all the white scientists. I just fucking know this shit because I listen to people talk about it and I read the books and I compare it to what I know to be true and my own experiences. But with that being said, it's obvious once you realize that we went from a completely mechanical universe in which we thought that the world was controlled by this higher God. And he's watching over us at every second of our fucking life. Every second of our life. We're being judged. And when you die, you're going to go to this heaven or you're going to go to this hell. Okay? These are very mechanical thoughts. Meaning everything is controlled by another man at another level. Or a man-like being on another level. But we all know this is not true. So when you live in a mechanical universe, you will think that everything happens for no reason at all. You feel me? Because you're living in a universe in which you have already been told the guidelines to the universe. You think that the universe is not infinite possibilities. It's only a working mechanism that has no purpose in a way. And this is a complete lie. We know this is not true now. So what did they have to do? They had to update for the new age in which we would perceive things in a different way. But in order for us to perceive it in a natural Aquarian way, we would have to break free of even the quantum physics model that we've been given. Because this is nothing but mechanics, but without the man controlling it. Meaning that the universe is still a bunch of randomness in which things are just working for no reason. There is no spirit in these things, pretty much. And this is why I'm trying to tell you and get you to understand that astrology, numerology, magic, and all these other things, they are not spiritual. You feel me? They are not spiritual. They're sciences. Something that humans use relatively to benefit each other. Benefit from. Okay? Now, it's very easy to confuse. It's very easy to confuse astrology, numerology, and magic for spirituality. And why is this? Because back in our ancestors' days, they didn't split apart spirituality and sciences. They were all one holistic system. Okay? But what I'm trying to get us to see is that right now, we are only being fed the spiritual side, when in reality, these technologies are more sciences than spirituality. And why is that? Because the European sees science as dead, like dead. They see all of the occurrences of the universe to be some random, radical, free-flowing system. And this is not true at all. You see, this is the only reason they see it from that aspect, and the only reason you're going to start seeing it from that aspect if you continue to solely follow the Europeans' New Age model of our old technologies, which is what they call astrology and numerology. Because what did they do once again? I'm trying to get you to see that all they did was make a new Bible. They took from every culture and put it into one system. And what does every culture around the world almost have? That's symbols to count things, to keep track of stuff, which is not spirituality. Numbers are only used to keep track of things. There are made up symbols in our head that we made up to keep track of things. And the other thing that cultures almost always have in every culture, in every society, is they trace the stars. And they base their mythologies off of the happenings of the stars. Now, we can argue about where they get all this shit from and where it comes from and where it originates, but that's the distraction shit. You feel me? Who wants to take credit for it? Credit. Credit has to do with banking. Fuck credit, you feel me? What we need to focus on is the actual happenings of these technologies. It doesn't matter where each one of these technologies came from. It's the fact that it came from every different culture. They didn't tell you the background story. Every one of these cultures, the reason they have a number that means this certain thing and they put a symbol with that, it has a background story that has to do with their culture. And you're not supposed to just take their fucking symbols and start using them, because they carry energy. That's where you get spells from, and that's where the magic part comes in. Because you're using technologies that were never meant for you to use ignorantly, and you're seeing the technology, but you're not knowing about it. This is very, very deep. You feel me? You have to actually sit down and think about this and meditate on it. Why is Soja Media and Mars right here trying to get you to see this? Why is this so important? Because the New Age movement is the new religion, it's the new Bible, it's the new world order that they want you to believe is new, but it's actually the same symbols and the same energy that they've been fooling people with for the last 4 ages. You only got 2 more ages to go, nigga. Now everybody's gonna question this, because The way that they were broken out of the stranglehold of religion is through these new age technologies. You feel me? And I'm not saying these things are not, they don't have any truth to them. But what I'm saying is, you're using the new age's model of it, and you're using their symbols, and you're using their stolen arts, which they don't even know what the fuck that shit is for in reality. And you're putting it all together in your brain to configure your reality. Everything you see is based off of what you know. Okay? Now you're putting together all these different books or symbols or how can I say, you were putting together all these different religions into one box, and you're configuring that into your reality. But you have to understand, in order for you to do that, you're going to have very incomplete conventions of what the universe is, because most of these technologies are nothing but half truths. Especially the way we've been taught about them have been half truths. Now, the only reason I'm making this video, every time I make a video, I want to make sure it ends with a goal and a purpose. I don't want to sit right here and try to fearmonger you, because that's not my goal. My goal is to get you to see that you are being distracted right now with these technologies. You're not supposed to, okay, when you've been in jail, right? The point of jail is for you to become a better person, supposedly, okay? Now, when you get out of jail and you go back into society, you are not going to be a better person because you interacted with the people in society who are not necessarily criminals. It's because you were in solitude thinking about all the things that criminals do and why you shouldn't do that shit, supposedly. Now, this is an analogy for us coming out of these ages of darkness. Every time you come out of an age of darkness, you're not supposed to just 100% throw away all the shit you know, of course not. But you're also not supposed to keep your criminalistic mind state and keep your criminalistic technologies. You're supposed to throw all that shit away and get rid of it, but keep the lessons you learned inside of the jail cell so that it won't happen again. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to sit down and try your best to make your own astrological chart up. Try your best to make your own symbols up. Try your best to inspire yourself to make up your own spirituality and give yourself reasons. Make your own reasoning for these things that you see to be true, like the astrological energies. Astrology, numerology, these are all relative truths, meaning they're only relatively true because you're living in your physical form. But when you drop this shell that you're living in, these are nothing but energies. And that's where the truth comes in. There's not 12 astrological signs. There's only 6. And they have different poles. That's where the duality comes in. But if you're living in a singular or a singularity mind state, you'll see that everything is one. But if you're living only on those 2 different poles, the extremes of those, if you're living in the extreme mind state of those energetic forces that we call astrological signs, then you're going to see 12 different signs. Because you're going to live out those extremes. You're going to be extreme. You're not going to take the middle path and see that everything around you is actually one big circle, and that's just 1, which is really a 0. And all these numbers that we are using are only symbols for shit that actually exists in true nature. But we are not knowing what actually exists in true nature. We only see the symbols. It's up to you to go out in this world and figure out what the fuck these symbols actually stand for and make up your own symbols so that you yourself will actually be in control of what these symbols not only carry energetically, but what they mean to you and how they will be controlled throughout the ages. That's the difference between the Eastern and the Western world. That's the difference between, you know, these people, all these extremes that you see inside of the consciousness movement, the New Age movement, the awakening of mankind. You always see these different polarities. It's always warring sides. Kind of like some four-type energy, what they tell you about, which is basically people teaming up together, but only because they feel they have insecurities about what they know. They don't truly share the same common, understanding of life. But they share the same fear though. And that fear is what leads to the polarities, the extremes of the energies. When you're trying to escape the energy, which you can never do. But what happens is, with these two opposite poles of extremes inside of these six energetic fields, you have confliction. Like right now in these communities, while we're changing the age and everybody's trying to quote unquote awaken and raise their kundalinis and shit like that, you see that there's warring sides like flat earth versus globe earth, East versus Western philosophy, good versus bad, occult versus spiritual, positive versus negative, religion versus spirituality. What else can I say? Republican, Democrat. Fucking being a revolutionary or staying loyal to the king, staying loyal to your country right now. Actually being conscious and only having conscious dogmas nowadays. You feel me? Just a lot of battling sides. White versus black. You feel me? Chinese versus fucking white. It's like everybody is truly confused. And they're only confused because they're taking the extremes of their different energies that we're in right now, thinking that their one polarity is the only right way. And every time this happens, the different polarities ended up killing each other off. And only the nucleus, which is the people who make up their own shit and take the middle path and stays in an area of shaded gray in a way. These are the people who stay around and create new cells and new cycles because they can replicate their DNA and take it anywhere they want because they're not thinking in a my way or the highway mindset. So what Soulja is actually here for is to help and inspire and to teach people that the only true spirituality there is that of creation, growth, and transformation. You need to create your own spirituality. You have to grow that spirituality and transform it over the ages. You have to create everything. You created yourself, you grew yourself, and on top of that, you're going to transform yourself. And you do transform yourself every day. These are sacred principles that we have to see that just because we may see them as simple or just 3 words, creation, growth, and transformation. This might be simple to you, but these 3 simple principles rule over everything in our whole known reality. Now, what the underworld may hold, I don't fucking know. And anybody who tells you if they know, they're fucking lying. But with this knowledge that I've given you, I hope that you've been inspired to do so. Become Soulja or take on this Soulja energy of growth, creation, growth, and transformation.